time. I'm going to take a little trip. And no problem. And so they came and they had no divine connection. They had no guides. They had no life plan. So they come here. I literally signed
Find the
it.
dotted line.
And it's taken to God and he signs it. I believe the planet is very soon going to learn that there is way more life out there than just here on Earth. And they're very like us. They look like us.
Boy, do I have a show for you today. Today, I'm doing my first interview. Her name is Ali Rae. She's a near-death experiencer who remembers life before Earth, went to Earth school, remembers her life plan, and has had all types of experiences that I think are important for you to know right now, especially about your contract with God, meeting with God, how to meet with God, okay? So I found out about Ali Rae through Sarah Shook. She had an interview with her that I thought was so compelling. I listened to it 3 times and I reached out to her to do an interview. So what you're going to find here is a follow-up interview to that initial interview she did with Sarah. I was trying to flesh out more of this story because it's so good. She's an incredible storyteller. In the description, you will see Sarah Shook's video there. So if you would like to know more about Ali and more about her story, go there, watch the video, and then I'm asking her follow-up questions about this adventure, and you're going to pull out amazing nuggets from both experiences because I really tried to dig a little bit deeper. Enjoy this interview. Stay after the interview to hear the poem. It's not a poem, it's a verse from the Nag Hammadi that I want to read to give us a little bit more insight because the next video I'm doing is our energy report and I've got a lot to cover there. It's time for us to warrior up. So enjoy the interview. Check out the other interview with Sarah Shook, and thank you so much for being here. This is Candace with Lightworker Radio, channel for the channelers. Intro. Hi, guys. So I've filmed a pre-intro for this. This is Ali. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here.
Me
Hello,
too.
everyone.
You're a healer. You're an experiencer. You've had a near-death experience. You've seen, I think, the largest capacity of the darkness and the light in this experience, and to me, the grandness of God and what we have to look forward to either on this earth or when we go home. So together, we're going to explore this life of yours, I will say. And to those watching, thank you for being here. I have the video of Sarah Shook in the description. So there are parts of this that will not be necessarily in there because I don't want her to have to replay the story from the beginning to the end all over again. Instead, I want to add to the juiciness of this story and start extracting a little bit more so that you can find the synchronicities in your life and be inspired on this journey. Okay, so let's start with, I think we should start somewhere at the bottom and work way up to angel school. So I kind of want to go over how your memories started coming back. How about that?
Sure. I was 42. I was 18 years ago. They began December 1st in 2007.
Ooh.
And they began in dreams. And these dreams were not typical dreams. They stuck with me all day. They wouldn't leave me. And I still remember I was doing the dishes and I went, oh my gosh, that wasn't a dream. That was a memory. Like that happened to me. And I knew. It was like a lightning bolt. I just knew. And over the course of the next, I would say 2 years, I began getting pieces, more and more pieces back. Some of them not the most pleasant. And so I wanted to resist it. And I told myself, I actually was afraid maybe I was losing my mind. And I shared with my brother, who I was very close to, and he said, "Don't tell anybody this. They're not going to believe you. Keep it to yourself." Um, so I did. I did the best I could to just not share it, talk about it. And it was like God said, "Oh, no, 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 no."
That's not why. Yeah.
And he just started, "Okay, Allison, I'm not going to let you dismiss this. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? This? You just kept going to the point that I got like, I remembered so much in so much vivid detail that I was remembering the faces, the conversations, the names, the, the, um, you know, the details of my lives, the two past ones in particular, so specifically, there was no way I could continue to deny that this was real. And then I began actually channeling, and I could literally, I was receiving information and could hear literally conversation. I would go into, I think I think you use a different part of your brain is activated when you do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you specifically channel, but I was using a different part of my mind, and receiving information that I would then later get confirmation was true.
Yeah.
So I was like, "You are kidding me. That is exactly what they told me yesterday. And today it's in the news, or today it's happened in my life." And I was just like, I was being shown right and left. "Allison, this is real. When are you going to believe this is real? We are with you. We are here. We are talking to you. This is all really happening." And I just couldn't deny it anymore. The problem was I couldn't find anybody else who was having the same experience. When I woke up, it was 18 years ago. No one was talking about any of this stuff.
No.
Um, so I was all alone in it. And the only thing I knew to do was go to therapy. Well, boy, that was, you're trying to deal with spiritual things and a spiritual worldview with people who are in a 3D worldview. And so it was like there was just a complete disconnect in consciousness. And I was speaking to people who just weren't speaking my language and didn't understand me. So their answer was, "Well, let me write you an prescription for an antidepressant. Here you go." And I went down that road and said, "Enough of that.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous." And so 10 years I went through that.
Mm.
Um, I got depressed. I began to isolate, and my health deteriorated. And that's when I had my near death experience.
Okay. Whew. Let me just say, with channeling, it is the other side, it's the right side of your brain. and
Yes,
and you feel it in very specific directions as it's
yes,
coming in. It doesn't feel like when you think. It's
no,
loud, it's annoying. It's like a chatterbox is going constantly. Unless you tune in, it just sounds like noise constantly, right? It's
yeah,
crazy, right? And
yes,
I often when when we approach therapy, it's number one, even in therapy, there's like parts of you that are going to guard this because you know where you cannot go.
yes,
Just
yes,
talking to them, you're like, okay, this is not going to get me there. Right.
yes.
And
In fact, you could get locked up if you're not careful.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
What do
almost
they work for?
dangerous.
Right. So
Yeah,
I completely, and the dream part, I just want to add, did you write these down? Did you think about journaling them? Or was it because some of the dreams you don't ever need to write down. They will not leave you when they are, and they're
I
not dreams. To me, they are almost like you're maybe not even out of body, but you are projecting a portion of your consciousness to another version of you.
it was so with me, Candace, that all day, to the point that I just began automatic writing. So with me, it was typing. I luckily know how to type. So I just channeled an entire book and I wrote the entire experience down because I remember the conversations verbatim and I was just channeling it.
Getting them
It
out.
just all came in and I just wrote it all down.
Amazing, incredible. And you have a book coming out.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
A revised version. I'm on the second draft. Yeah.
This is the process. Okay. So let's go to angel school. Let's go to the beginning of when you think about it, just for the audience to get an idea in their mind, I often think about when they talk about hybrid children and people see them in schools. That's what I kind of imagined when you were talking. I saw this room. It was, you said, was all white, and these children are learning. What do you think, besides the fact you mentioned them being there because they were probably souls who left early, and this was the place where they did some learning before their next mission, routine, idea. Can we go a little bit more there? Tell me a little bit more about this place.
Sure.
Yeah.
I believe it was a school where children go in between
Mm-hmm.
incarnations. And that can be, and I'm not just talking about Earth,
No, that's what I'm thinking.
incarnation anywhere in the
Yeah.
universe, right? There are, I really hope people, I believe the planet is very soon going to learn that there is way more life out there than just here on Earth. And they're very like us. They look like us. There are many 3D worlds,
Yeah.
and above, higher realms, many, many worlds. So I was in a school of children, and I must have passed around age 5 or so. And we were kind of in a little kindergarten, if you think, or and it was taught by angels. We were all assigned a governess. We were all friends.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very, very happy place. I never wanted to leave. And every day, God showed and taught us personally. And we would sit on the floor, with our crisscross applesauce and sit and listen to him. And he would just teach about, you know, simple things about how to live a good life, how to be a good soul, what it means to be honest, what it means to um, be kind, be generous, these things. And we adored him.
What's so funny that's coming up to me is like these are qualities that spread across every country, every place, no matter where you live, no matter
Every
what type
religion,
of being you are, no matter what religion you are. This is the foundational truths that,
yeah,
let's say, we were all taught on some level for existence,
yes,
right? Okay.
yes.
Yes.
I believe every being really intrinsically knows right from wrong
Right.
because we feel it.
Inside of
Um,
ourselves.
yes,
Yes. So let's get to the temptation.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Which
yeah,
you, when you
funny.
mentioned it being, to me, there is this level of like, you have to be somewhere with your existence. And based on your consciousness level, we are at different variances to move up, to keep up pure. we have to filter out all of the things that are instilled in us that are against the light, let's say, for instance, even tiny little minutia. But there are these moments in each of our realities where we have to utilize our free will to
Yes.
make a decision, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
please go into the
Sort
drawing.
of. Are you talking about sort of being tested?
Yeah, I mean, and I
Yes.
don't even know, it's only a test if you fail, but it's not really a test if you pass, you know? You don't even notice
Yes.
it if you pass. You're just like, oh.
Maybe a better word is evaluated.
I think it's an
You know,
evaluation of
an
where, almost like a
evaluation.
percentage of where you are for many
Yes.
various
Yeah.
reasons outside just
Exactly.
that. It has nothing to do with that, I think. Like it's like
That's
something
right.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 'cause I'm like, if
Like what?
anyone got kicked out, I know I got kicked out too. Okay. So it's full of nonsense when I got here.
I flunked angel school.
I know, like the song Angel School Dropout, like Grease keeps
It's
running through
perfect.
my head. I know. But we've all been through it. So let's get into when you were first tempted by something creative. This is the best part about it to me.
Yes, I was we were in class drawing little pictures and the girl in front of me, a very cute girl, and was my friend. I liked her very much and she drew a beautiful little picture and I never felt this come over me before. I was happy. I liked everybody and all of a sudden this dark energy came over me. I felt jealous. Like, oh, her picture's only better than mine because she had a better pen than I did. You know, it was awful. It felt horrible. And I was not, I was very happy. So I remember feeling like I've never felt it. Like, I've never felt like this. Like
Yeah.
this doesn't feel good. And
Yeah.
because, I was a little kid, so I didn't understand what was happening to me. I didn't say, "Oh, I'm jealous." I didn't know what it was. I just felt icky. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And and so they said, "Okay, everyone go to lunch." And I stayed behind and I'm throwing my pens in my little box, putting away my crayons. And uh I hear this voice, and it just said, you could take the pen, Allison, and you could use that pen to draw a better picture. If you had the pen,
Pen.
just take it. And I immediately jumped up, and I don't know how to explain it other than it was a demonic presence.
Now,
Um,
can we stop there for a second? Because now, because this is where I was trying to discern. Is this, do you think, latent energy within you that maybe came out that you had never experienced before? Or do you think something was lurking around?
okay. What I remember God explaining to me, and this was later in the Earth School, was that he uses the dark as a tool. It's actually something, the dark thinks perhaps that they have it over on him, and the joke's on them because in reality, God's using them. And he uses them at times to test us, I think. So you're right. He knows our vulnerable parts, God, and I believe he calls it. And when I say God, by the way, please, I hope it's not triggering anybody.
Right.
I
Universal
mean,
energy,
universal
the
energy source.
gentleness.
God is not just a man. That's how it appeared to me. He is everything and anything. He can appear as everything or anything, including an animal, a woman, any race,
The
Okay,
wind.
so please don't be troubled. I'm saying him for simplicity's sake, just because I have to use some
Something.
pronoun.
Right.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
please, I hope no one's triggered by that. I'm not referring to any one being or religion.
Universally, there's so many, we could go into a whole diatribe about this and how that word has been tainted on purpose, right? When in
Yes,
reality, it is, to me, when I experience God in teaching moments, it's very masculine. But when I experience God in creative moments, it's very feminine, it's very still,
yes,
not many
yes.
words.
He explained to me that he is so all encompassing that if his energy came into he said, Alison, I have to appear this way to you when he was teaching me in their school. I have to appear this way to you, or you'd literally explode. It'd be too much energy for your nervous system. So I'm appearing in this avatar so you can be in the room with me. It's literally, he has different avatars, okay? And he has come, I believe, throughout
All of
millennia,
history
all of history. So
trying
please
to
don't.
teach us
Uh,
the right
that's right.
way.
That's right. Right.
Right?
I believe there's a chance he appears to each one of us at some point in our life. We've probably encompassed him and didn't even know it was him we were
Didn't even
talking
know
to,
it.
and just a passerby of a waiter at your table or the nurse in the hospital, or you know what I'm saying?
There's a book, I think it's
I
called like God is in the Walmart bathroom. And like if you
yes,
start
yes,
looking at everyone from that perspective, it's like, who am I to, I don't, it's in all of us. We are fractals. My job is to
yes,
treat you like I would treat myself, right? And this level of humanity that goes beyond the skin and the like the containment, but the connection of all of it.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So he said,
And
what
I
about,
believe
yes,
our guides and our angels interact and appear to us in the same way. They will come.
probably, now I've had a dream about being a guide once, and it was fascinating because it was the hardest job.
Yes,
It was
I
a
bet it's so
mess.
frustrating.
Yeah, because it's like we wanted her to go left. She went right down the street. Like it was like the meeting, we had a meeting point. There were three of us. We were trying to get these two people to look at each other, and it was just a mess. And we had to keep going back, and going back. So it was these it's crazy. But
No, I think
yes,
it's real. Well, I know
teams.
it's real. I
Yeah.
remember my guides. That we have them. They're
Yes.
we really do.
So let's go
So
back to what God
anyway,
said about the demons. Yes.
yeah. So he was explaining that they're almost he uses them to test our consciousness, and that's what that was. I think I was ready to incarnate. I had spent my time, I learned my lessons, and now he wanted to evaluate where my consciousness was. So he knew where to send me.
Mm-hmm.
What would be, what was I ready for? Where was my consciousness at
Mm-hmm.
so I could achieve the greatest growth on a soul level? So I went through this test and sadly, I did
Three
very well.
times she denied him the truth.
Three times.
Hold on, I just wanted to make sure my battery started in. Okay. Three times you were asked and you denied.
Yes, I was shaking because I had heard about being sent away. A
You
little
had
boy,
heard?
yes, a little boy in our class had gone before me, and everyone was
Oh,
whispering, "Oh no,
like the
little
rumors was
Peter went
going
away."
around. And they didn't know why. Or did they know
Yeah,
why?
well, you know, everyone was scared of leaving because you didn't want to leave there. It was like paradise. You were so happy. No
Mm-hmm.
one wanted to be sent away.
Right.
So I was so afraid I was gonna, so I was hoping God would, because I put the pen back, I returned the pen to her. I never
You didn't
used
even
it.
use it. Exactly. You didn't even
And
use it.
so I was hoping, I didn't do anything wrong. I returned it. I didn't even use it. I didn't steal it. Like I just hoped it would all go away. And then the demon appeared and said,
Hey,
no, she took it. She listened to me. She did it. And that was it. And I was escorted out. Stage
with the
left.
pearly gates. Get her out of here, guys. Okay. So, have you ever heard of the podcaster? He's on YouTube. His name is Darius J. Wright. Have you ever heard of him?
No,
He talks about he has out of body experiences he had since he was a child. Uh, he coaches people on how to do it, and he talks about the constructs, and he calls them almost like globes on God's shelf, where you can almost peek in and see all of these different worlds and many Earth-like worlds, for instance, in this version of creation, where there are layers, and each of them hold many different varieties or variations of a theme, right? So when you leave and you're sent to this duplicate of Earth, almost like frozen in time, but not. Let's go a little bit into this space and how you talked about they didn't age. Um, you think this was just like the next place, the gentlest place to place souls before you couldn't send them to Earth, for instance. It would just be chaos. Do you think that there are just like levels of constructs for the different souls to learn?
I do. I was sent, I suspect it was another 3D planet. My understanding is that there exists 3D planets that are not as dark as Earth,
Yeah,
right? They're not as polarized. I've been told this is the darkest and hardest of all the realms.
I can't see that being wrong.
It's
I
the
mean,
most
this is,
challenging. So you actually, the light workers here have the were sent here because they could handle it. Do you know what I'm saying? You passed an evaluation, your consciousness was evaluated and deemed that you could come here without getting trapped.
yeah, yeah. So the place that you were at is to me is just like the gentlest version of it's not fake because you said it was like it's real. People live there. It exactly a
No, it's
place that
as
people
real
live.
as this.
And it's just so crazy to think about because we have aging and we have just this different understanding of what a planet would be like. Do you were absolutely human and you were just
I, just like you and I.
yes, it's just so fascinating to me. So let's go over everyone was around the same ages.
Yeah. It was different in that everyone was around 20 to 40.
Hmm.
There were no families, no marriage, no children. Okay. But people had pets. They lived in homes. There were cities, suburbs, nature. I had a dog.
Yeah.
Still remember her, Samantha. I called her Sam. Um, I lived in a really neat home outside the city. I worked in a law firm. I remember my friends, my boss. Um, and but see, there we didn't age, we didn't get sick, and we didn't die. And here, this is when I left that planet, there was literally a dissension. It's
It's lower down.
harder here. You go down, and that's why we age. This planet has been infiltrated in such a way that we are bombarded with chemicals, pollutants, toxins, entities, AI, so forth, that age us and have created much more suffering. Um, there's psychic attacks. There's realms here that we can't see that are operating. That's what I'm saying. They work in secret. Their power lies in the fact that they are in secret and we can't see them and we're not made aware of them. They're kept secret. And
hidden.
now in this timeline of ascension, they are being revealed and the truth is coming out
And it
about.
seems to me that they're using the same playbook and they haven't really shifted the rules because it worked really well before. And you can kind of see it's just not working anymore. Like the spell is off, the
Yes.
veil is off. So you're just like, that doesn't make any sense, you know? And
And they don't want to accept it. They're like, oh, that's it.
they're going
That's
to
not
ride
going
it
to
till the ship
happen.
goes down.
They are. They refute. They're like, they're never going to beat us. Come on. We've been ruling this planet for millennia. We've got them. They're never going to win. And you know what? They are, well,
It's
you can
there.
see it in what's going on the
Yeah.
planet. It's collapsing.
It's collapsing.
Um,
Yeah.
and they're panicking. They're starting to panic.
I
I
got
really
that
believe it.
they didn't think it was going to take this long to end something, and that's what they're trying to do. And to me, when it comes to you thinking that you're going to push something to the end, you're willing to do anything at that point.
Yes,
You're not taking,
like a
you're
caged animal.
like a caged animal. So it's very clear that that is the tactic. And I think they're, I don't want to alarm anybody, but literally throwing blood sacrifice at it, trying to open and keep it and feed it and keep it going.
Sadly, that's exactly true.
So,
That's exactly what's happening. Yeah. But I again do not at all wish to instill fear
no,
because
yep.
the truth is we win.
I have a quote that I'm going to read. I think at the end, I just keeps coming up, and it's about forethought. And what people think is that I think that at this point, we don't have space to be scared anymore because we don't have anything to be scared of. It just the physics of the whole thing makes so much sense. I mean, literally, light in a dark room lights up a flash, like a lighter lights up a whole room. But that's the only way they keep us in control is through that concept of fear, because that is the only ammo that they actually have. They don't really have anything else. They have to use blackmail and fear. And it's just like you just keep playing these hands. And now we can see the hands. So as long as people can remember that we were sent here because we could be sent here, we have this
Yes,
strength. It's not strength. It's just saving the other people. Do you know?
exactly. In
So
some ways, I almost wonder if the hope is to save as much of them as are willing to come to light by casting our light and saying,
you don't have to
it's
do this
not too late.
anymore.
It's not too late for you to come.
Tell the
Come this
truth.
way.
Yeah. Don't let them blackmail you. Don't,
Yes,
do you know? It's just, that's all it
they're
is.
trapped.
It's just
They
trap.
get stuck
It's just a
in
mind
this and
game.
they don't even want to be there. They're not happy. The
Can't be.
dark isn't happy. They're
Can't be. It's the
miserable.
opposite of light. Right. It's the exact opposite. So it's just, so let's go back to this. It's insane to me that I can't even put words onto it. So because
Well,
it's
I hope it's explaining a little bit how God uses the dark and that we were sent here to their power lies in their remaining in the dark, in the shadows, in the secret. And what we do is we pull the covers back and they go, because
Scatter
they know
like
they're
roaches.
seen, and they flee
Yeah.
for their lives.
Yeah.
They're scared of us.
Yeah.
We are way more powerful than they are, and they are scared to death.
It all came from God. It all came from the light. You got the
Yes,
choice to go as far away from the light as you wanted to. That is God's free will. You get the choice to go as far away as you want to, but you always have to swing back eventually because it all comes back together again.
they do.
It all
They
comes back
come home.
together again. They come home. Yes. So, with that, let's talk about how you decided that you needed to be a student of Earth School.
Oh, yeah. So I was in this law firm and I took a lunch break and came across a lady at in the square with a little table booth set up with pamphlets, and it was about the Earth course. And I thought that was really interesting. And I went, and there were about 80 to 100 people, standing room only, in this little classroom. And she handed out a 5-page syllabus, and everyone looked at it like, are you kidding? And she's like, this is intense. This is not a joke, guys. You're going to be reading a book a week. You're going to be going to a 2-hour class. We're going to be, at the end, there's an exam. It's 2 years, and look around because only a handful of you will remain by the end.
It's such a movie scene, by the way, that is just so funny because you're like, what is this? I mean, I can't imagine. So let's go into like it's because it's not Earth. There are some differences in some of the sames, right? Like there people eat food, people drive cars, people walk, people have dogs, people have, partners. But what could have for what do you think sparked your interest the most when you read the syllabus that would make you stay in this crazy 2-year course? Because it's not for everybody,
Because
clearly.
I'll tell you why. Because in that um, introduction, first day when she handed the syllabus out, she said, and I would like you to know that as a student of the class, you will be given the privilege of being able to have a meeting with God personally, one on one.
I can't imagine anyone not wanting to do that, number one.
Can't you? Yeah, I know. I just was like,
Hell yeah.
sign me up,
Sign me up.
sign me up.
Sign me up.
I just knew. And I didn't remember the angel
Mm-mm.
school. I didn't remember him. But when I heard I was going to get a chance to meet God, are you kidding? I was like, okay, sign me up.
So
I'm done.
your construct believes in God. What does that mean to them? Do they go to church every Sunday? Does it just align with their morality and their principles?
Huh.
How do they celebrate God in this space?
This is interesting because you might find this hard to believe, but actually, um, although I I think the class enabled me the privilege of being able to meet him. I'm not sure anybody could walk off the street and just
No, I don't
say,
think so
I want
either.
to go talk to God.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say this, everybody in that world knew God was real.
Yeah.
Unlike here, there wasn't atheism there. Everyone knew God existed.
Were there different religions, or was it just like, of course God is real?
Yeah. Um, and yes, you could go to church.
Okay.
People did go to
Yeah.
church. Okay. Um, there was church. I did go to church once I started the class,
Mm-hmm.
and once I met him, I
Mm-hmm.
started going. Okay. But before that, believe it or not, although they knew he existed, they weren't that interested. So I remember like talking to my friends about it, and they're like,
Why?
yeah, what? You like, that's kind of weird, Allison. Like, really? And I It was almost like I was, they saw it as our community is viewed here.
Yes.
It was the fringe. It was the fringe. You weirdo. You really believe that stuff? It's the
That's so
same thing
crazy.
there.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, it was like that.
Oh my gosh. Because I was like,
And so
if you
they're
told
going, you
someone
don't
here
want to
that,
be in that. My friend
no.
said, all those people do is hang out with each other. You won't, you get really weird. Like you don't want to believe in all that. They brainwash you, they said. And I'm like, I don't think so. I really like what they're talking about.
Half the people
I
aren't even
don't
there
know.
at the end of the course. How could they be brainwashing? Only
The
brainwashing eight of us.
first thing I did was sign up for meeting him.
Yes. Okay. So let's go. Let's stay at the school for a little bit. You watched marriages. You watched all of these different, very Earth-like example, like these things that when you live on Earth, you don't think much of them unless you were to go see another society, and then they would like kind of come out and call out to you. Do you know what I mean? Like this just the outfits and the idea of like these family units. You don't have this in this planet. So it must have been absolutely fascinating. Do you remember anything else about like what just like was like, what? That's crazy, you know?
Um, it was, I believe, about 20 years ahead of Earth. Um, so we dressed differently.
Hmm.
So we giggled at all the outfits they wore. So every class, they would either give a lecture on the book we had read. You read a book every week. And we also, sometimes half the class was devoted to a movie.
Mm.
And what they would do is literally show us a movie of Earth. So one movie was, for instance, about marriage. And they showed us marriage, which I thought was so romantic. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. When I made my soul contract, I made sure I wanted to
Get
get married.
married.
I thought it was so neat. So we learned about that. We learned about what families were. We learned about, oh, I had it. Oh, shoot. Well, the education system, the health system, politics. They taught us about war. We didn't have war. There wasn't war. It was very safe there. You could
Yeah.
walk at night. There wasn't crime. Um, and we learned all about crime. We couldn't believe it was horrifying. War, it was horrifying. We didn't have that. And then, oh, I remember a movie. Oh, wow, I sobbed. It was about brain injury, special needs kids. And in the movie, you got to understand I was watching back in the 60s, right? So these kids were made fun of
Hmm.
and so forth and teased. And I just wept and I said, how could they? Because I just saw such sweetness in them. It's like they're such pure souls and
Yeah.
they were being so cruel. And I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It was like, it just,
What kind of society is
people,
this?
yes. And I remember thinking, I will never go to that planet. Boy, is that an awful place. What a horrible place. We learned about also what the dark was doing, really dark rituals and so forth. We learned about the soul trap, how people get stuck here. And I thought, boy, I just can't ever fathom going there. It's so
To
scary.
this
What a scary
surface.
place.
Okay. Back. Okay. Now, where do you think they got these movies from? Do you think they made them? Do you think they've been watching us? Like, I can't understand living in a place that recognizes that there are other places.
Yes, that is, Earth is unique. I believe we're the I honestly think we're the only planet
That
that
doesn't
believes
know.
that we're alone in the universe. I think when any other planet you're on, they're fully aware
Yeah.
that there are other worlds.
Yeah.
So we all knew there was Earth. People would actually come. Um, it was known
Mhm.
you could go to a center, let's say, and buy a ticket. You would pay them, and they would send you to Earth. So people came here like on vacation. And let me tell you, the difference was they did it without a soul contract, which is horrifying because
Oh.
what they did, these were the people who are getting trapped. They thought,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I'm just going to
They were
go to
gonna go
Earth.
to
Like, this will
Bermuda.
be fun. I'm going to take a little trip and no problem. And so they came and they had no divine connection. They had no guides. They had no life plan. So they come here and they're just like blown about. Think about, I don't know, a tumbleweed that's not attached to anything. They're
Yeah,
just
just keeps
buffeted
in the
around
loop.
everywhere because they have no spiritual base.
Interesting note. Did not know that. I mean, you hear about you that you never think that they're the ones getting stuck. Interesting. Okay. So we're not gonna mess with the camera anymore. It doesn't want to work for me. So let's go before we get to Earth and how you got here. And I really got to talk about the life plan. You get to meet with the big guy. Anyone who's ever met with God knows that they met with God. Okay. And there are a couple of things that I want to let people know about meeting with God so that they know. Number one, it is undeniable. And when you said God does not give you answers, I almost dropped something because that is the most truth that I have ever heard come out of someone's mouth. It is always a weighing of the options, an education about it, and you have to make the decision. And when you make the decision, you can get as much support you need, but you got to turn in the direction and walk before someone's going to hold your hand. You have to make the decisions.
He never tells you what to do, ever. So, um, I believe, he's sad when because he, he knows we don't get it, but he will, he never told me. And there were times that I made some mistakes because he kept trying to explain to me I was with a partner who was very not awake.
Okay.
And he kept trying to teach me about different levels of consciousness.
Mm.
And I kept saying, well, I can raise him up. I can bring him up. He wants to learn. And he said, Allison, what he never told me,
Leave him now.
leave him. Yeah,
Yeah.
leave. No, but what he said is just know that when you're not evenly matched in a relationship, it's not that you can't help them. They're like a weight on you. So they're holding you from advancing as quickly as you could without them. They're
Mm.
like a weight dragging you down, right? So you could ascend so much more quickly
Yeah.
in your consciousness without having to constantly pull them up the hill with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a hard
It's like
message for
that.
anyone to hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to understand they can't save anybody. Everyone is on their own path. And the best thing we can do is let, and this is hard, especially with your kids, because you gotta let them sometimes watch them fall. And it's heartbreaking. And that's what God does. He watches us fall and he cries when we cry. He feels our pain. It makes him so sad, but he understands it's how we learn. But you can't do the work for someone else.
Mm-mm.
they have to go on their own path.
Yeah.
So what we do is we shine our light and we share our information and we teach and we mentor. And that's the best we can do. And then we just pray for them and we love on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be there. They're going to make it
Yeah.
on their time when they're ready at their pace.
Yeah.
And we have to trust that. But we can't save them.
Mm-mm.
We can't do the work for them. We only are responsible for ourselves.
That's a message. Do you think that's one of the reasons that you decided to kind of leave, is that you because you technically left your partner there and
Yes. No, I left because God came first in my life. After 2 years, I met with him every week. I thought I would get one meeting with him. And he said, Allison, if you commit to this, I'll commit to you. And he met me faithfully every week for 2 years and taught me. He is the best friend, the best sibling, the best parent you never had. And I couldn't let him down. My teacher came to me and said, Allison, you passed, blah, blah, blah. You did well in the test. And God's wondering if you would consider going. Couldn't say no. I couldn't let him down.
Mm-mm.
He mattered more to me than anything. Even my partner, as much as I loved him, and I was so happy in my life. I had friends. I loved my job. I couldn't ever. It would have broken me
Yeah.
to disappoint him. It's like he brings out the best in you.
Mm.
And you just have I developed such a relationship with him and so much love and respect. He changed me. I changed. I was more confident. I, I was discerning. I could see people's pain. I became much more the observer in that lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And people, when I left, my friends threw me a party. And the best gift, they kept saying, I didn't know what to bring you because you're leaving. I wanted to bring you a present. Some of them brought me pictures of us, you know,
Yeah.
but the best present they gave me was about 3 or 4 of them came up to me and they said, you know what, Allison? Everything you've talked about God has made me decide I'm going to go meet him. I'm going to go and sign up to meet him because of you. And I saw what he did in your life. And I want that.
The example. Buy the
And it
fruits.
was the best gift I could have gotten before I left.
You were like, it feels like a relief almost too. It's just
It was so touching. It was so
yeah,
moving. They couldn't have honored me
your
more.
journey.
Yeah. I inspired them.
Do you think you'll
I
go
felt,
back there?
yeah, I thought I was going to when I left. That was my plan.
Yeah, you did
I'm
have
not
a
so sure
plan.
anymore.
Mm.
I think I'm here, honey. I think I'm here to,
I
I
even mean
think
when you leave
I'm,
here and you think of home, is that the place or is it somewhere else, do you think?
mm, I'm, I'm very connected to the angelic realm.
I wonder if you're going to do more work.
Um, but I also believe I'm going to be here for a while working
Hmm.
on building the new earth. I
Okay.
think a lot of us are.
We're coming back.
Well, I think we're
You don't think
staying,
we're
I think
leaving?
we're ascending in the body.
Okay. Because I even wonder now if we're going to be here longer than we thought we were going to be
Yes,
here.
I think so, honey.
Yeah. Because
I think we're gonna extend our lifetimes. I think technology is gonna come in. We're not
something's going
gonna
to
suffer
happen.
death
Yeah.
in the same way and illness. I think it's gonna be healed, cured.
Yeah. Hall- Hallelujah. Let's bring it in.
Yeah, I
Let's
think we're
bring it in.
rebuilding this planet.
I think we're rebuilding this planet.
Yeah,
I got to chill. I got to chill.
me too.
So let's go to the life plan because we've all done
Oh,
it. Most of us, the ones that are not just
yes,
the ones who've created it. You sit
yes.
down and they ask you what? Like, how do you even start a life plan?
All right. Let me get to my notes here. I took a lot of notes for you. The life plan. All right. So I spent about 5 to 6 months
Hmm.
working on it once I decided to go
That's
to
a long
Earth.
time. That's a nice
Yeah.
amount of time for planning a
Oh
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
They take it very seriously.
Yeah.
It's very serious. I still remember the woman and what she looked like. We sat down at this big table,
Hmm.
and it's almost like, have you ever played the game of life?
Yes.
It almost looked like that.
You
Like,
might have been inspired by.
I'm not kidding. It's like really that's kind of it was like a map. And you kind of they were showing like, okay, at this age you're gonna come into this challenge, and at this age and this age. And I would sit there and I'd be like, oh, and I want to, challenge me with this and challenge me with that and would challenge me because I want as much soul growth as I can get. And they're
Yeah.
like, whoa, she kept
Calm
going,
down,
whoa, whoa,
girl.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Because you get soul growth out of it. There is nothing like this planet to grow your soul. It's through the challenges that we grow, right? So I'm just all eager. And all I want to do is like challenge myself. Like, I'll take on poverty. I'll
Yes.
take on, I'm gonna, change the world. Um,
And she is like,
and
we are just, I know this feeling because you wonder, like, what did I sign up for?
exactly.
Who did I think I was?
It's really true. We're so ambitious. And they really warn you. Um, you'll overwhelm yourself.
Yeah,
And
okay.
if you're not careful, you take yourself out.
Oof.
Yeah. And you don't want to do that because you're in
Mm-mm.
a signed contract. I literally signed
Find the
it
dotted line.
and it's taken to God and he signs it. So you're in a divine contract and you have to fulfill it. If you don't, you come back
Over and over again
till it's filled.
till it's filled. Till it's filled. Okay. Do you remember anything specific from your life plan that you know you're doing now? Or was that the
Yes.
life plan for the previous incarnation before
No,
your
for
near death
here.
experience? Okay, perfect.
For here.
Okay.
I planned my marriage. I planned having a special needs child. I have a Down syndrome daughter, and I remember asking for her
What
very
you were
specifically.
inspired for, what you were
Yes,
inspired.
from that milk movie.
Yes.
I
I
fell in love
love
with him,
that. I love that. Their hearts are pure.
and I asked for her. Yeah, and she has been the biggest gift. Candace, when she was born, I didn't know. You know, I didn't know in utero that she had Down syndrome. So it was a shock. And I cried. My heart was broken. I was in shock. I went into shock. They kept me in the hospital for about a week because I literally went into shock. And talk about an angel. I had a nurse come in and she sat down and gave me a speech about what a gift this child was going to be to me. And I asked the staff if I could see her. And they said, there's no one on our staff by that name. I kid you not.
Intervention. Get in there and tell her. There you go.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
So there's
There
something
you
I
go.
asked for.
Yeah. Okay. That's wonderful. Now, did you know that you were going to have to leave via, you were going to have to be, you didn't know you had to be born into Earth. Did you?
Okay. They were very, very vague about
Method of
how you
transportation.
got to Earth.
Okay. I don't know if they could explain it to you.
Because if they had told me what it was, no one would go. It wasn't very pleasant,
No, it
Candace.
sounded terrible.
It was very painful,
Yeah.
literally. I had to separate from the body, and then I went through a wormhole, and then I went through the birth system. I'll tell you, birth hurts as much for the baby as it does for the mom. We
Why
know
do
how
you
bad
think that
contractions
is?
are.
Do you think it's just the solidity, the matter, the downward spiral, the just the physicality of Earth, just how dense it
Well,
is?
I think my energy
Has
got
to get
compressed
really.
into this baby body and it hurt like it was. And then you're curled up in this not
Hot
very
sack.
hot, not nice smelling
I was supposed to say
place.
wet sack.
Horrible. It was horrible. And then I began to uncurl, and you literally feel the bones. It was scratching my face, like the uterine bones,
Yes,
like as I
everything
was
is
squeezing
there.
through, and I was getting stuck, and there were periods I couldn't breathe. They back in those
You
days
had
put the
those
mother
big
under
ass.
anesthesia, and they used the forceps to pull me out.
And
That
the
hurts.
first thing you saw after all of this pain was reptilians, demons, dark, infiltrated
They
within the industry, potentially why women were knocked out for pregnancy.
they weren't human.
They weren't human.
They were hybrids, I believe. Yeah, and they're here amongst us.
Living
Yes, still
amongst us.
today.
Yes.
Yes. And we can't see them. They
Mm-mm.
know us. We can't see them.
There are a few experiences where I felt that I knew I was around what I would call nefarious energy. And there are moments when there's a cluster, and it usually happens late at night or around really, I found really smelly places.
Yeah,
There would be a collection of individuals, and I would be like, it's time to go.
great.
Yeah. You can tell it, you can feel it when it comes in. And this city is very, again, the city is very relaxed. Uh, it's not frou-frou. It's not New York. We have like, a lot of live music here and a lot of live musicians, and you can feel the energy shift in the crowd. The moment, sometimes it's 2:30, 3 o'clock, if we're about to
Yeah,
go out, you would be like, okay, we have to leave. It's time to go. That's how you know it's something else comes in because now this energy is transforming into something else because even here we could have an open air outdoor party where there are kids and food trucks and there's jazz and and you can see there's an infiltration that happens to take advantage of those who are left, right,
yeah, yes,
who've lost themselves in some way. So they're here and they've moved amongst us, absolutely. Yeah, so you see
yeah.
this.
We're sadly their food energetically and
We're
otherwise.
loosh. We feed them. Yeah. Now, you're in the hospital. You're a baby, but not a baby. You're a grown woman in
I
an
know.
infant's body. Your
I was
mind
going down.
is swirling, swirling.
Yes. Excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. It's absolutely just the fear of what you've now experienced, and you see your mother, and she's on, she's out of it because of the drugs. So you're like, her eyes are probably dilated and looping around. You're like, where the hell am I? Wait a minute. Like I could just imagine this scene of just like, like this is where you're crying. So do you remember picking your family?
Honestly, I don't. And I think that was unique to me. I believe people pick their families a lot of
Yeah.
the time. I think I was placed purposefully in the family I was placed in, and I was not given all the information for a reason. And I yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. That's
Um, so I and that's fine. I think that was my job or purpose, and so for some reason I didn't fully go through the veil, and my I was placed in the incubator and could see my guides, um, and they were shocked. They couldn't figure out. They couldn't believe I could see them. They couldn't believe I could see the bad guys over there, the doctors. Um,
even that you were communicating with them.
yeah,
The whole thing was
and
like,
I
wait a
was,
minute.
so it was like I was an adult. I was me from the other world in a baby body. And so I'm going, where am I? I was supposed to come to Earth. Did God send me? Did I go down the wrong chute? Who
Clearly there are some logistics that we need to work out here because even
are those
this
beings over
is,
there?
yeah. And I think it was you chanting while you
Yeah,
came through the dome that made it so you could
that's
catch
right. I
your
think
memories.
maybe.
Yeah, and then
I
we're
think
like, that
maybe.
damn
I
Allie
kept saying,
making it so hard.
I'm going to remember home. I'm going to remember God. I'm going to remember home. I'm going to remember God. I kept saying it all the way down. Don't forget, don't forget, don't
It
forget, don't forget.
works.
And it worked.
It worked. The intention
So I was awake.
and miserable.
Oh,
Being in a baby's body is
I
only fun for a
lived
baby. Yeah.
for my nap time because at my nap time, my guides were with me. My family left the room. I was alone, and they showed up around my crib every day, every nap, every nighttime. And they would take me out of the body and bring me home and restore me. And finally, God said, "You,
Please
we
stop.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't. And this is not fair to her because she's so. I mean, I had a tantrum. Pretty embarrassing. I was like,
I don't know if it was embarrassing. I would have had a temper tantrum.
I'm like, you can't send me back there. I'm not going.
Crazy. Yeah. I don't think
And
that.
and 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 so the sad one of my saddest memories is saying goodbye to them. They brought me back to my crib and they told me I wouldn't see them anymore. I wouldn't remember any of this. And next day I woke up as a baby, a
Mm,
human, typical baby.
typical Bob Gaga Goo Goo.
Yep.
But you're on this old, what we're calling an old Earth timeline. Let's say a more 3D version of
Yes.
reality, correct? What was your
Yeah.
job then? What were you doing at that time in your life? Was it anything like
Oh, as
specifically
I
around?
grew up,
Yeah.
uh, oh boy, I went to 4-year university. I I studied writing. And
Same thing.
then I dreamt I was always very creative.
Mm-hmm.
I was always drawn to music, writing, and acting. So that was funny for my family because my family was very academic.
Mm-hmm.
They were doctors and lawyers. And so I was definitely the black sheep of the family. No one understood me. I was the crazy one who wanted to be an actress. And they all eye rolled, okay, Allison, yeah, whatever, you know. And they humored me, and I moved to New York
Mm-hmm.
because back in those days there was acting in New York and LA. And I was from the East Coast, so I wanted to be close enough to my family. So I moved to New York instead of LA. It was too far and scary at
Mm-hmm.
23 to move cross country. So I did it from New York. I studied acting intensely. I did it until I got married at 30. I was with my husband 8 years before I married him.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with him basically, and we're about to celebrate on Tuesday our 30th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been through all of this.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Okay.
Yes.
So,
And not awake. He is not on the awakened path, but he has, I don't know that you necessarily, he's very drawn to light. He's asleep.
he's a pure heart, though.
Um,
I can feel
and
that energy of pure heartedness.
he is he has stuck by me and supported me through all of this. Um, and he's just a rock.
Yeah. Do you know, I want to, I just thought about this. So, most of the people that I've met on this path who are married and women have very grounded husbands. They
Yeah.
keep us tethered,
Yes.
you know, and it's like my husband, husband's a Taurus, okay? He's a art collecting, earthy. I call him and my daughter, they're like such earth elements, you know. I have to keep her from keeping something like you can't bring 1,000 rocks in the house. So like, you have to pick three and go back to but there is a grounding element that I think is required because I don't know how we would not be in the city. I would be off in a forest somewhere completely not paying a bill, not responsible for anything, if I did not have this tethered connection to actually
I
stay
love
in
it.
this game, right? So I always think that there is something about it where I don't know if both of us could be in the light worker role at this point. I think one of us needs to do this and another one of us needs to focus on something else. But I do believe that there is something about a rock and a steadiness and a grounding and a protective element that we have been covered in for this incarnation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My husband, just, I know this, was supposed to die at 17. And his parents had uh, six kids. He was the oldest. He was supposed to die in a motorcycle accident at 19, excuse me, 19, at first year of college, grabbing a fraternity brother's bike and crashing it. It was going to be his exit. And he chose to stay because his parents were going to have a special needs child. And the pressure of losing him on top of having her was going to collapse their marriage. And my husband chose to stay
That's so
and
sweet.
then chose to take on our daughter and go through this with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. So you're an actress, you're living in New York. We've been there. How do you think, and I don't want to get too much into it, but how do you think were these the groups of people that you think took advantage of your situation? Was it in these circles that the things that happened to you were from that arena, correct?
I think it's very prevalent in Hollywood, and I think the
Yeah.
reason I was supposed to move to LA, and I was actually gonna go. All right, so I was in a repertory company for an actor. I don't. It's probably maybe before your time, Burt
Hmm.
Reynolds. I worked for Burt Reynolds.
Hmm.
All right,
Mr. Burt
so
Reynolds.
I was supposed to go to LA
Hmm.
with a whole group, and it fell apart. And I came back and married my husband. And I know that was
Kismet.
saving me. It
Yes.
was, well, it was saving me from Hollywood.
Yes.
Um, so I think there's a lot of darkness there. I think
Yeah.
it's falling apart. I think we're seeing it right now fall apart. And I think a whole new, very exciting, creative time of creatives is coming
I think that
online.
we're hungry for it.
It's going
Hungry
to
for
be
real
very
stories, real people.
positive, inspirational, uplifting, high vibrational material.
Absolutely. I
And
definitely
it's
believe
going
that.
to be a renaissance of art.
That's
I
so
really
funny you
believe that.
said that. Okay. I like that. Okay. So you have these moments of recognizing what's happening. How do you get out of it? Do you just leave?
I'll tell you, and it's my whole purpose of my YouTube channel. And if I have one thing to tell anybody, and I hope your viewers hear this, if
Hmm.
they take nothing away from the story, take this. The answer is connecting to your soul, to your inner guidance. Pray, meditate every day. We're taught to brush our teeth, to exercise, to walk, to eat nutritious food, but we're not taught to connect. Please connect. If you connect, you are healing yourself energetically. Then you will not get sick
Yeah.
because it won't go down into the physical. We get
Clear out
sick
your
because it
field.
begins in the energy.
Hmm.
It begins in the energetic field. Heal your energetic field and you won't manifest it in the physical. You'll balance the physical and your life will change. Your problems will go away seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's through connecting. Find, just keep looking. Don't watch the ravine below with the
Yeah.
snakes and
Don't
the
look
rats.
down.
Don't the swooping birds.
Gotta
Look
get
straight ahead.
those horse
Look at the
things.
light.
Yeah.
Get blinders on. Just find the light. Connect in here.
Yeah.
That pit in your stomach, that gut feeling, that is them guiding you. That's your inner compass. Pay attention to it. Always respect it. It's the way they're communicating to us through our emotions. Our emotional body reveals the truth.
It's currents of energy. Everybody doesn't speak English, everybody doesn't speak language. Everybody doesn't speak. It's zaps and shakes and quivers and shocks and all of these other sensations that fulfill us, and a lot of them are bell alarms ringing and we don't know why. Your heart is beating, you're sweating, and you're like, why do I feel this way around this person? These it's like your whole body is speaking to you, and your mind is what's trying to tell you it's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, listen to this, not
Yeah, it's
this.
not there.
This is the ego. This is your mind. This is programmable.
Processing.
This isn't programmable. This is This is divine.
Mm-hmm. The
It,
walkie-talkie.
it's your fractal,
Yeah.
right? It's the fractal of God inside you. It will never steer you wrong, ever. But you have to trust.
You have to
And
trust
you
it.
build the ability to tune into it through regular practice.
Mm-hmm. It's a muscle.
It's it's a muscle. Build the muscle. Do it even if it's 5 minutes a day. I know everyone's busy. That's how they distract us from
They
doing
keep
that.
us busy.
They keep us busy. Take 5 minutes then. Sit in your car, shut the door if the kids are screaming,
Mm-hmm.
and just for 5 minutes say, God, what do I do now? Guides, angels, show me. Give me a sign. I promise they'll answer you. It'll be through a song. You may not get it right away. People say to me, oh, but Allison, I don't hear anything. Then 2 days later, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I got, they played that song. I can't get it out of my head.
It won't leave. Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's
Awesome.
the answer.
It's the
It's
answer.
the answer
It's
they
the
gave you.
answer. And there, my favorite line is like, ask again, ask another way. Like, stay, you say this is what you want to know the answer. Stay on it. Look everywhere. Like, the more I study, the more I see that like there is no such thing as like coincidence. And every single, the birds flowing up a certain way, you hear a chirp, all of these things work seamlessly in the environment on purpose to do what it was supposed to do at the time it was supposed to do it. And there's a rhythm there that is to be tapped into, right? And as you're like, while these things are absolutely horrifying and terrible, it's literally shaking you awake. It's because of the sensations become so extreme, it almost cracks you.
Yes.
And like you're either going to fill yourself with light or not, right? And in those moments you literally crack, and then there is no putting the egg back together. It has to be new.
And the way to put yourself back together is through connecting.
Because you were never really apart. It
Right.
was all an illusion.
And they're going to walk you through it and heal you
And it's
because your
gentle.
world's going to break apart. London Bridge is going to fall down, but they will walk beside you and help you pick the pieces up, and you're going to be better than you were before.
Nothing you let go of it won't even seem like a sacrifice because you're like, oh,
No,
can't even believe I wanted that.
yeah, you'll be thankful.
You'll be thankful. Thankful. Now, here's my question to you. Old Earth timeline, new Earth timeline. Already the difference is the information that's flowing, right? The amount of information available to a person. Do you think that's the biggest distinct change or shift in where we have to tell the audience, you're in this old version of this 3D version of Earth that's darker. You have a near death experience. You get to have a meeting to determine if you want to leave and exit or if you want to go into the ascension timeline. And then as you choose the ascension timeline, to me, it seems like just another dimension on top of the story sandwich that's just more elevated. So from NDE, we've heard that story. Let's go to the meeting you have with your team when they tell you about this ascension timeline and how they kind of approach it to you as an option after you have just experienced a terrible Earth.
I so wanted to transition. I was
Yes.
like, really? I can go home? It's over? Oh. And they're like, yeah, yeah, honey, sweetheart, yes, but wait, there's one more thing. And I'm like,
Let me
really?
go.
Yeah, no, what? And they're like, no, it's good news. This is a gift. We have something to offer you, and it's called ascension. You're being offered the ascension timeline. And I said, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Never heard the term before. Didn't know what their time
It's
meant.
new. It's so new.
And as long story short, the best I could understand it was I'd grown up understanding about the rapture in the Bible. So I'm like, you mean there's going to be a rapture like the Golden Age? And they said, yes, 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 yes. That's exactly, yes. Would you like to experience it? And I remember I used to read about it and cry because they used to say, at that time, man will live in communion with God and the angels. And I thought those people have no idea how lucky they are because I remember
That life,
being with him. They have no idea.
the
I
abundance
wish I
of
could,
love.
I wish I could have that. And my guides must have heard that when I was saying those prayers because I would sob. This was before my near death experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said, yes, you can go back and experience it. And I said, and God's going to be there. And they said, the veil will be gone. There will be all abundance. There will be no more sickness. You are going to be happier than you can imagine. You're going to wake up every day loving what you do. Fulfillment, abundance, no more scarcity, no more death.
In the last 3 years, I have gone from seeing the veil as like, I would say, like tight weave blankets, almost like fabric on top of each other stacked. And it's like last time I was in the zone to see it, like I was meditating and I can like stare and see it, and it's like there were holes. But then the last time it was almost like fishnet stocking. There was barely anything there. Right. And the fluidity and the movement has changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here we go.
From a stack of blankets to mere thin sheet.
Just like it was like someone, and
Right.
all of them, and you see, like, you just like, there's so much traffic. It's very busy. It's very busy. It's not at all, it's like they're just things moving to and fro and up and down. And this guy, all the plants, like, they're so alive. When you see them like that, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you've been here this whole time and I didn't know you were this alive. So these transitions, they feel so gradual yet so extreme, where I feel like we're going through these moments of solar blast and we're getting upgraded. And then you look up and something is different in your environment that you didn't expect. And you're like, oh, I can see that now. Like, or I can sense that now. Or, geez, these gifts that we've been given are turning on.
Right.
How did you know when you came out of the near death experience, which, by the way, you knew you were going into one, you told people you were going into one, you knew what was happening.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
come out of it. What's your first sign that you're in the new earth? Like, are you looking for it? Are you desperate for it?
I was recovering from the coma on the couch. I could barely get out of bed. I was very sick. So watched TV. I wasn't a TV watcher. I was a writer. Anyway, raising my kids, I didn't
Hmm.
watch TV. What did, what did I find? Ancient aliens.
There you go. That's did it.
And I started going, oh my gosh, they know that this, this is what I
How
was
do they know?
remembering. Like they knew. That's the truth. They're telling you. Then that brought me to YouTube. And then I found people who were talking about everything. And I just, my jaw dropped. I got chills from head to toe. And I was like, okay, all this, they're talking about the ascension, they're
Yeah.
talking about
So
the
first time
dark.
you hear that word on earth, when you heard that word that you had never heard before, confirmation,
Total
total
confirmation.
confirmation.
And that's what I said to them. Please, can I have some validation? I'm so
I'm
alone. No
tired.
one, I can't, no one, anyone I tell tells me I'm not crazy, but they don't believe me.
They don't, well, if they believe you, then they're going to feel impelled. They're going to have to do something about it, right? So it's so much
Right.
easier to dismiss or sidetrack something when you don't want to take any personal responsibility for, or, have to hold that responsibility. Like, because then we all move different on this earth because of what we heard. It requires shift.
And you realize I'm talking before the near death experience.
Yes.
So I was talking to the council and I was saying, send me back somewhere where people know what happened to me. They understand it. They're awake.
Yeah.
And they say, sweetheart, the whole consciousness will be different.
It's just,
People are going to know about it. They're going to know about the dark. They're going to know about the ascension. They're going to know it's coming. You're going to find people like yourself and you're not going to feel so alone anymore. So I was so alone
yeah.
in it. And I just went, oh, you bet. Sign me up.
That's a
Okay.
much better gift too, because to me, after what you'd gone through, that to me is like the other side of that is so much proof, so much more oomph. It is a gift, it is almost like you get to be the warrior in the story. You're no longer, you find out that it's all real, number one, not that you didn't experience, but like you get to vindicate yourself. You get to like now live this version of the story, just it feels like very empowering.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
it was just unbelievable to start watching these videos and see these people talking what I knew. I was walking around feeling before that, the coma, like I was the only person on the earth who knew this stuff was going on. I thought, am I crazy?
It's so lonely.
But I knew I wasn't crazy
Yeah,
at the same time. But no one was talking about it. I couldn't find anyone who knew what I was talking about. So I just had to keep it to myself.
which is the worst.
Yeah, it was the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
So it was such a gift. Yes.
okay. So I think we've covered mostly everything here. How have you been serving now? So you're working on your book. You are doing Reiki and spiritual work with other individuals. Are you getting into that field? What are you working on right now besides the book?
Yes. So I do readings for people. I'm able to tap into their guides. Um, bring the messages. I can do mediumship. I can connect with past over loved ones. I do, so I do sessions with people, and so many people just are alone in this awakening. They're waking up and their families don't understand, and they really just want someone to talk to.
Hmm.
So I've been doing a lot of that.
Wonderful.
And I love it. Uh, Great. Met the most wonderful people from all over the world. It's been amazing. The love and support I've gotten. I'm doing the YouTube channel,
Hmm.
which I have a lot of plans for. I'm going to grow and expand. And then I am also a teacher right now on Sarah Shook's platform. She
Okay.
has a group called Quantum Soul Academy. And if anyone's interested, maybe we could put it in the link below. But
Yeah.
um, she, I'm going to be doing, to begin with, a monthly meditation, but I'm very involved in
Nice.
the community and
I was going to ask what community you were a part of, and it's with Sarah.
Quantum Soul Academy. Yes,
Okay, perfect.
right
I'm
now.
going to reach
Yeah,
out to her anyway because I want to talk to her. She's just lovely.
yeah,
Okay, wonderful. Because we all have to be a part of something. It's the grouping is to begin,
right.
right? I look forward to seeing all of the wonderful things you do on YouTube as you
Thank
continue to
you.
teach and
You as
tell your
well.
story. Uh,
Well, thank you so much for your work. It's
this
great.
is this has been wonderful. This has been
So wonderful.
awesome. And I feel like we got real information out. Especially, I want people to know about meeting God the most and to
Yeah.
start trying to have these meetings
Yes.
in their lives. So
Yeah.
I think you really introduced that concept and kind of like brought it to a place where people can fulfill that now. So it's
Ah,
amazing. Right.
I hope so.
Now, this is my favorite book in the Nag Hammadi, the secret book of John. And this is my favorite verse, hymn of the Savior. This is where I'm going to leave you. Now I, the perfect forethought of the all, transformed myself into my offspring. I existed first and went down every path. I am the abundance of life. Like I am the remembrance of fullness. I traveled in the realm of great darkness and continued until I entered the midst of their prison. The foundation of the chaos shook and I hid from them because of their evil, and they did not recognize me. Again, I returned a second time and went on. I had come in the inhabitants of light. I, the remembrance of forethought, I entered the midst of darkness and the bowels of the underworld, turning to my task. The foundation of chaos shook as though to fall upon those who dwell in chaos and destroy them. Again, I hurried back to the root of my light so that they might not be destroyed before their time. Again, a third time I went forth. I am the dwelling in light. I am the remembrance of forethought, so that I might enter the midst of the darkness and the bowels of the underworld. I brightened my face with light from the consummation of their realm and entered the midst of their prison, which is the prison of the body. I said, let whoever hears arise from deep sleep. Now, this is my favorite book in the Nag Hammadi, the secret book of John, and this is my favorite verse, hymn of the Savior. This is where I'm going to leave you. Now I, the perfect forethought of the all, transformed myself into my offspring. I existed first and went down every path. I am the abundance of life. Like I am the remembrance of fullness. I traveled in the realm of great darkness and continued until I entered the midst of their prison. The foundation of the chaos. A person wept and shed tears. Bitter tears the person wiped away and said, who is calling my name? From where has my hope come as I dwell in the bondage of prison? I said, I am the forethought of pure light. I am the forethought of the Virgin Spirit who raises you to a place of honor. Arise. Remember that you have heard and traced your root, which is I, the compassionate. Guard yourself against the angels of misery, the demons of chaos, and all who entrap you, and beware of deep sleep and the trap in the bowels of the underworld. I raised and sealed the person in luminous water with 5 seals, that death might not prevail over the person from that moment on. That is all I have for you today. My name is Candace. This is Lightworker Radio, a channel for the channelers. I hope you guys have a great day. Next up is the Energy Report. A person wept and shed tears. Bitter tears the person wiped away and said, who is calling my name? From where has my hope come as I dwell in the bondage of prison? I said, I am the forethought of pure light. I am the forethought of the Virgin Spirit who raises you to a place of honor. Arise. Remember that you have heard and traced your root, which is I, the compassionate. Guard yourself against the angels of misery, the demons of chaos, and all who entrap you, and beware of deep sleep and the trap in the bowels of the underworld. I raised and sealed the person in luminous water with 5 seals, that death might not prevail over the person